Representative Paul Ryan tearing into the IRS commissioner saying nobody believes you. Well, today on Capitol Hill, GOP lawmakers grilling John Koskinen about the IRS claim that 2 years of Lois Lerner's emails just, poof, disappeared. Representative Aaron Schock was in that heated hearing today. He joins us. Nice to see you.
Greta, good to be with you.
All right, are you with Paul Ryan essentially accusing the commissioner of lying? He says, I don't believe him, so that's lying.
Well, what is it? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. They've attempted to fool us 4 or 5 times. Remember, for 2 years we've had hearings, and they've said repeatedly no targeting was happening of conservative groups. We now know targeting occurred. The president then came out and did his new conference where he said it was rogue agents in Ohio. Nobody in D.C. knew anything about it. We now have emails from Lois Lerner that prove otherwise. She was at the helm. She was the one giving the direction. We were told repeatedly that that we were going to get all of the emails from Lois Lerner's account, and yet back in February and March of this year, he knew he was never going to get them.
All right. Well, he claims that all these emails were destroyed and that Lois Lerner even made a complaint about it long before Congress asked for it.
Well, it's interesting because most times when I send an email, it's to someone. So the idea that there's only one source of these emails is a bit bogus, and our next attempt will be to get these emails through discovery, which is what you do, as you know, in a court case or in the case of certainly IRS investigations themselves. Investigating your business or you as an individual, they can recover those emails from the people who we know she was emailing with.
All right, so that'd be like the FEC, for instance, because I think that at least there was one email that I think that went to the FEC.
Exactly.
All right, was the commissioner? I mean, was he lying or was he cagey? What would be his motive? Because he comes into this late. It's not like he's been there since 2009 and was sending emails himself.
You know, Greta, I think you asked the same question all of us ask, which is this just is this person covering things up, or is it just gross incompetence? When you say that targeting is not going on, as the last commissioner said, and it was, clearly you're either lying or you weren't providing very good oversight. When someone like the president says nobody in D.C. knew about it, was only people in Cincinnati, and we find out, in fact, that wasn't a true statement, I think the president probably just didn't have all the information. In the case of this commissioner... So you're not accusing
the president of being cagey?
Well, I think he's making statements. He's trying to make declarative statements that this is somehow a made-up conspiracy, that somehow we're just on a witch hunt. But the problem for them is the facts keep coming out, proving otherwise. And in the case of this investigation right now, it wasn't until Monday of this week when Ways and Means Republican investigators said to them, hey, by the way, is there anyone else's hard drive that is missing? Is there anyone else's emails that we're going to have trouble recovering of the 80 people we're investigating at the IRS? Only then did the IRS commissioner find out there were 6 other people's hard drives that have been damaged and unrecoverable. So I would think if I were running the investigation, those would be natural follow-up questions that you would ask. And so I think it's gross incompetence.
I guess what I mean is, like, what are the odds that the key time period for the key person, that's what I keep going back to.
It's not believable.
That her emails. Yet she made a complaint, I think, in summer of 2011, right, about her having a problem. I mean, what are the odds that she sort of knew that somewhere down the road she would get into, I mean, like, what are these, I mean, it's so peculiar, yet on the other hand, she doesn't have a crystal ball.
I think she knew she was breaking the law. She knew she was breaking the law well enough that when this story broke, she immediately pled the Fifth. She immediately refused to cooperate with us, and it's why I don't think it's happenstance that when she was giving these directives and sending these emails, that somehow they've now disappeared.
So do you think she deliberately did something, someone deliberately did something to destroy these emails?
I think somebody deliberately destroyed the evidence that points to who committed all these crimes.
And so, special prosecutor, you've asked DOJ for one. That's not happening, right?
Absolutely. You know, I don't know why. I mean, look, as members of Congress, we don't have the capability or the expertise or the financial wherewithal to spend 80 hours a week delving into all of the specifics and issuing subpoenas and getting all of the documents. We need a special prosecutor.
I'll tell you one thing. I didn't like it when the president called it a phony scandal very early on, because that looked like he was trying to call the dog off the scent. And
yeah, and Greta, what's outrageous is this is the IRS. This is the very agency that inflicts fear and pain into tens of thousands of Americans, individual business owners and individuals, and they're not very forgiving when you lose an email or you lose a document. Simply saying, oops, we made a mistake, I think we need to hold the IRS and their commissioners to the same standard they hold the American taxpayers.
Congressman, nice to see you. Thank you, sir.
Good to be with you.